Hello everyone, today we are at the ARK Encounter. It is a Christian young earth creationist theme park located in Williamstown, Kentucky. The centerpiece of this park is this large representation of Noah's Ark. It is based on the Genesis flood narrative contained in the Bible. This ark is 510 feet long, 85 feet wide, and 51 feet high. The ark consists of approximately 3,300,000 board feet of wood. The framing of the ark consists mostly of Engelmann spruce, while the exterior is made of pine. Some of the logs were as long as 50 feet long and 36 inches in diameter. Most of the wood used to build the ark was sourced from renewable forests. The Troyer Group, a construction firm in Mishawaka, Indiana, was contracted to oversee construction of the ark, which was constructed by Amish builders using traditional timber framing techniques. In total, over 1,000 craftsmen were employed in the ark's construction. According to Noah, instructions are given to him by God in Genesis 6:14 through 16. ARK Encounter is operated by Answers in Genesis, a young earth creationist organization that also operates the Creation Museum 45 miles away in Petersburg, Kentucky. Ken Ham, an Australian creationist and CEO of AIG, founded the park. The theme park promotes pseudoscientific young earth creationist beliefs about the age of the universe, age of the earth, and coexistence of humans and the non-avian dinosaurs. The ark contains 132 bays, each standing about 18 feet high, arranged into 3 decks. Visitors enter on the lower deck and move between decks on ramps, constructed through the center of the park. The first deck contains models of some animals that AIG believes could have been on the ark. There are no live animals within the exhibit. The models are meant to represent kinds of animals which AIG says gave rise to modern animals after the flood. The second deck contains more animal models, along with dioramas of Noah's workshop and blacksmith. Here you will also find Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 26, God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all creatures that move along the ground." In Genesis 29 and 30, then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plants on the face of the earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food," and it was so. In Genesis 31, God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, on the 6th day. Adam is told that he can eat freely of all the trees in the garden, except for a tree of the knowledge of good and evil. However, a serpent convinces Eve to eat fruit from the forbidden tree, and she gives some of the fruit to Adam. These acts not only give them additional knowledge, but it also gives them the ability to conjure negative and destructive concepts such as shame and evil. God punished the serpent and banished Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden. Man eventually spread across the earth, but rather than serving their Creator, they became exceedingly wicked. In a little over 1,650 years, they had grown so vile that God judged the world with the global flood. On Genesis 6:14 through 17, God told Noah that he will bring flood waters on the earth to destroy all flesh under heaven in which is the breath of life, everything on earth shall die. God instructed Noah to build an ark, and in accordance with God's instruction, he took into the ark male and female specimens of all the world's species of animals. Consequently, according to this narrative, the entire surviving human race descended from Noah's 3 sons. Was God's creation really perfect? The Bible explained that all of creation was very good. In Genesis 1:31, there was no suffering and no death, since God is perfect. And in Matthew 5:48, it makes sense that his creation was perfect, at least it was until sin entered it. Some people question whether it was just for God to judge the whole world, or is God cruel? There's no question that a great deal of evil and suffering is in the world, which often leads people to wonder whether a loving God exists. The Bible gives us the correct perspective for understanding why there is so much death and suffering. In the beginning, God created a perfect world and gave man authority over it. Our first parents, Adam and Eve, rejected all that God had offered them and chose to rebel, even though they knew the consequences was death. Death, suffering, violence, and disease are in our world because of what man has done in committing a high treason against our holy God. The ark's door reminds us that we need to go through a door to be saved. Jesus Christ is our one door to salvation. The third deck contains displays presenting what AIG believes might have happened inside and outside the ark during the flood. Displays in 3 of the bays include artifacts from the Green Collection and promote the Museum of the Bible, a Washington, D.C. attraction constructed by the Green family, who donated to the Ark Encounters construction. This area is where Noah and his family lived. Each member of the family have their own bedroom with a table and a sitting area. Imagine the earth as it was before the flood. The forests are lush and fertile. The air is thick, warm, and fragrant. The completed ark sits quietly on a hilltop like a great wooden fortress. Guided in pairs, thousands of creatures flood into the ark. There are perhaps millions of species worldwide, but only select representatives of every land-dependent, air-breathing kind are sent. The flood begins on the 17th day of the 2nd month of Noah's 600th year. All the waters of the great deep and all the waters from the sky let loose upon the earth. The tops of other mountains rise above the water surface, as waters are also draining away. As land masses continue to rise and waters continue to run off the emerging land surfaces, large amount of sediments are washed away and canyons are quickly carved into the rock layers. In approximately 1 year, the wicked pre-flood world consisting of a supercontinent is destroyed, and a new world with 7 continents rises from the waters. They are covered with layers of fossil-filled sediment deposited by water, testifying of the biblical accounts in Genesis. Noah's family is given an opportunity to start over, to be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. Billions of organisms were buried in the process. The remains of these fossilized creatures are the sedimentary layers in which they are found bear witness to this event. One world and 2 views of whether we had one ice age or many. The biblical view maintains there was only one ice age, and it came about as a result of the global flood. The leading secular model holds that there were at least 4 major ice ages, each exhibiting periods of glaciers advancing and retreating. The Table of Nations in Genesis 10 names the people groups that fill the earth. God commanded his people to be fruitful and multiply.
Since the people refused to scatter, God put an end to their rebellion and accomplished his purpose by confusing their language. No longer able to communicate with each other, the people abandoned their efforts and departed from Babel. According to the Bible, all the humans who settled the earth after the flood descended from Noah's 3 sons. Yet the human gene pool split up after Babel. In just a few generations, varying combinations of previously existing genetic information resulted in distinct people groups, each with superficial differences, including different skin tones and eye shapes.
In Genesis 9, God sealed his promise with a rainbow in the sky. In the midst of the devastation from the flood of judgment, there was a beautiful rainbow in the sky symbolizing God's gracious promise. God did not promise we will never experience storms, but he has promised he will be with us during them. The evolutionary story often portrays ancient man as a brutish caveman. Over the years, he evolved to become a hunter-gatherer. During the agricultural revolution, the hunter-gatherer became farmers and raised flocks, and eventually, men advanced to the point that they began to build cities. Once again, the Bible account of man makes better sense of what we have observed. The caveman, hunter-gatherer, farmers, and city builders definitely existed, but they all existed at the same time. We never truly stopped searching for the truth. Many scientists are still researching whether Noah's Ark truly existed. And today, the Bible is still the #1 selling book in the world. We hope you enjoyed touring Noah's Ark through our video. If you'd like to see more of our travel video, click the thumbs up and the subscribe button below. Until next time, we wish you many happy trails with your family. Thank you.